Penguin Audio presents Bushworld, Enter at Your Own Risk, by Maureen Dowd, read by Kathe Mazur. Introduction. In March 2001, I went to flat and dusty Aggieland, Texas A&M at College Station to speak at the Bush Presidential Library. "We had to wait until the Silver Fox left the country to ask you," George Herbert Walker Bush told me, only half teasing, since Barbara Bush was abroad. He lured me there by promising to show me an 11-page comic screed against the New York Times and a few other media miscreants that he'd typed on his computer in the Arthurian style of a column I had written, portraying him as the old king and W as the boy king. Like me, 41 has an easier time unfurling his feelings writing than talking, so I especially appreciated his wacky satire about a royal court sprinkled with words like verily, forsooth, and liege, and characters such as King Prescott of Greenwich, George of Crawford, Queen Bar, King Bill, Maid Monica, Hillary the would-be monarch, Knight Al Gore, Earl Jeb of Tallahassee, Duke Cheney, Warrior Salzburger, Knight Howell Raines, Knight Ashcroft, and Lady Maureen, charming princess of the Times op-ed world. The delicious frolicking, falconing, and scheming at the moteless court of the old warrior king, however, will have to forever remain our secret. I was a Times White House reporter for the first Bush administration. Though 41 was always gracious, I know he was disappointed at first to have drawn an irreverent, newfangled reporterette, as Rush Limbaugh would say, who wanted to focus as much on the personalities of leaders as on their policies. But I always figured it this way. Politicians can tell you they won't ever raise taxes, read their lips, or won't ever nation build, but sometimes, because of their basic natures, needy egos, and whispering Iagos, they find their way to believing or acting in glaring contradiction to their original promises. When the nation has been scarred by crises like Watergate and Vietnam, it has been because presidents have let their demons overcome experience and common sense. Poppy Bush had been expecting a traditional pinstriped Times correspondent, one with a name like Chatsworth Farnsworth III, who would scribble about 41's role leading the Atlantic Alliance. The son of Prescott Bush and Dorothy Walker is a modest man, whose mother warned him so often against focusing on what he called the big I, that he would cut the personal pronoun off the start of his sentences and just plunge into the verb, as in, not going to do it, or not gonna do it, as Dana Carvey would say on Saturday Night Live. 41 joked that he was a Dana Carvey sound-alike. Or use staccato Bush speak, as in his encomium to his coffee warmer. Mug warmer, electric, 93.25-1, it says. It made him squirm to be inspected by the press closely or saucily. One New Year's Eve, over dinner in Houston, Brent Scowcroft, 41's national security advisor, formally requested that I stop referring to Mr. Bush in stories as acting goofy. And the president himself complained in amused chagrin to his press secretary, Marlin Fitzwater, in one of the little blue notes he sent out to his staff, that I had been sitting cross-legged and arms crossed, like some Hinduistic Buddhist pose at a golf course in Kennebunkport, staring at him in a Gail Sheehy manner as he was teeing off. Actually, I was just trying to muster some interest in golf. But I guess it's hard to tee off when you're teed off. Another time, on Air Force One, when he came back to talk to a bunch of reporters, he ordered me to stop staring at him. I lowered my eyes. But over the years, 41 tried to adapt. He has often kidded me about our love-hate relationship, dubbing me his favorite-unfavorite Bigfoot columnist, and chastising me about being a limo lib who cast him unfairly as an elitist. He loved it when I wrote columns tweaking the Clintons, and hated it when I wrote columns tweaking the Bushes, the two rival political dynasties of meritocracy and aristocracy, both driven by feelings of entitlement, that I seemed destined to cover in endless succession. Poppy Bush sometimes threatens to seek psychiatric counseling to cure himself of this
Sample complete. Ready to continue?